John, Courtney, thank you for joining us. I want to tell you a bit of a story. Now, before I was a magician, I was a classroom teacher. You know, when your students think that you can read their minds, it makes your job as a teacher a lot easier. But before I was a teacher, I was a prison guard. Yeah, little old me, a correctional officer, yes, in a prison. And I hated that job. I told people when to get up, what to wear, what they could eat, who they could talk to. It was a soul-sucking job. But I felt just as trapped as they were. I needed a job. I had to put food on the table. And after 5 years on the job, one day I was escorting a young man to the library who was returning some books. And out of the blue, he said, "You know, boss, these books are all so unrealistic." And so, doing my job, I pretended to be interested. I said, "Oh, and why is that?" And then he said something that changed everything. He said, "All of the characters in these books seem to have so much control over their lives. I don't have that kind of control," he said. And then he pointed his finger at me and said, "Think about it, boss. If you had control over your life, would you be here?" I thought, that's a really good question. And within a few months, I had resigned. And I went back to school to become a teacher, but that's another story. The important thing is, when I stepped out of that building for the last time, I was overwhelmed by this sense of freedom and a deep appreciation for the fact that I could make my own choices. Courtney, I want to share that sense of freedom with you.
Oh, thank you.
And an appreciation of the fact that you can make choices for yourself. Now, but in order for me to give that sense of freedom to you, I have to steal something from you. I have to steal your ability to make your own choices.
Okay.
Now, that's a scary thought, I know.
Yes.
So imagine a bubble around us, and you're safe within the bubble.
Okay.
But within the bubble, everything is predetermined. Only the illusion of choice remains. Now, with that in mind, I'd like you to consider these rings. We have a green, a blue, and a red ring. Now, you're going to make some choices with these rings, and I'm just going to turn it so the camera can see.
Of course.
Now, and I don't want you to influence you at all, so I'm going to look away. Now, look over the rings and just remove any one of the rings you like and hold it in your hand.
Okay.
Now, whatever that ring is, I'd like you to put it in my hand, and I'm not even going to look at it when you do, and I'm going to close my hand around it so I don't know what it is. I'd like you to make another choice now, Courtney. Remove another ring.
Okay.
Now, whatever that ring is, I'd like you just to move it to an empty finger on the hand, on the display hand. Have you done that?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, there's one ring that remains undisturbed. Would you remove that ring, please, and hold it in your hand?
Okay.
Now, those felt like completely free choices, didn't they?
Yes.
And I have no idea what color ring I'm holding, and I have no idea what color ring you're holding. But it doesn't matter, because everything was predetermined. Would you read this out in a nice loud voice, please?
Christopher has the green ring.
And do I? Oh, yes, I do.
The assistant has the blue ring.
And do you?
I
Yes.
do.
And the red ring?
The red ring is still on the hand.